The Master Tavern Keeper's History of the Old World. And so, the two dwarf adventurers, Dorin Heldor and Catelyn Candum, set off down the eastern coast of the Black Gulf towards the old ruined harbours of Ekrund, on the boat of the somewhat well-known dwarf sea captain, Orla Ironhorn. Now, neophytes, as longshorers, would I be correct in assuming that the geography and dangers of the Black Gulf are relatively unknown to you all?
Och, well, I think I can speak for most of us and say that I know less than Jack, and he knows less than most. Oh, ja, und all Jack o' the Privy is not renowned for his erudition.
Ah, yes, now, this is true. Although he does a good job with keeping the dockside latrines of Tobaro in good working order. But it does seem that he is not the only one in the dark. I saw a lot of blank expressions from the neophytes here, too.
Oh, ja, and I might also add that although both my father and myself have plied our trade up and down the Tilean Peninsula, the shape and environs of the Black Gulf are not anywhere that I am particularly familiar with either.
Ah, I see. But that is no problem whatsoever. I'd be more than happy to illuminate you all. The Black Gulf. Now, the Black Gulf refers to the body of water that lies between the northwestern coastline of the Badlands, stretching down from the dwarf port of Barrack Var, then running parallel to the Dragonback Mountains, right up until you get past where the ancient abandoned harbour ruins of Ekrund lie, and, on the other side of the Gulf, the eastern coast of the Black Peninsula. Between that particular thin, long strip of headland and the mainland of the Border Princes and Tilea, just east of the Appuccini Mountains and the Vaults, you have the dwarf hold of Carrack Izor and the bandit-infested density of the Carnos Forest. Oh, and you also have the infamous Lagoon of Tears.
Ach, no, the Lagoon of Tears. That doesn't sound like a place you'd want to go paddling in or anything.
Oh, indeed. But there's nothing actually wrong with the water itself. It's ripe for a good paddle, and it is actually a well-frequented place, but not for that reason. Rather, it is primarily patronized by bootleggers, smugglers, and pirates. Some rivals of, others comrades in infamy with, the bandits of the aforementioned Carnos Forest.
Och, not more pirates. Is there anywhere in the world that you don't find them?
To be honest, they are everywhere, especially around here. Anyway, as I was saying, the Lagoon of Tears, also known as the Gulf of Tears by some, is actually a beautiful sliver of water, flanked by long stretches of silvery cliffs decorated by gently carved out sea caves. However, there are dangers beyond mere ne'er-do-wells brandishing their cutlasses that keep decent folk away. For this part of the world is most well known for that terrible body of water where the lagoon meets the Black Gulf proper, the infamous Bay of Wrecks.
Oh, yeah, now I have heard of that, Master Tavern Keeper. Och, now I haven't, Heinrich. Why is this place so infamous then? Oh, yeah, well, Master Alchemist, the bay sits right between the lands of Tilea and the wilderness of the Border Princes. But the real reason it is so well known is that it is probably the site of more shipwrecks than anywhere else in the whole of the old world.
Ah, yes, indeed. The number must be near astronomical, as the High Elves of Hoeth like to say. You see, Sedrik, the danger is this. Its waters appear deep and tranquil, but just below the surface it is strewn with jagged rocks that'll as soon carve a hole in your hull as look at you. Unsurprisingly, perhaps, you get lots of wrecker gangs congregating that way, who, when they're not trying to lure ships into its dangerous waters, comb the beaches for any cargo that washes up. In point of fact, so ubiquitous are these gangs and so prolific are their activities that the river that feeds the estuary there has been given the dubious moniker, the Wrecker's Run. All that said though, it is still quite an important tributary for the local economy, and actually runs all the way up into the Appuccines, as far as the Dark Maiden Pass. Blessed be her name.
Och, I'll say it again, Septimus. I'd be wary of invoking her name. She's not what you think.
Ah, yes. So you've said. Sorry, it's an old habit.
Och, anyhow, I do have another question. What's the crack with all this black malarkey? You've got the Black Gulf there, and now this Black Peninsula. Why is everything so black over that way?
Ah, it is not, per se. The land is in fact green and pleasant, and the waters warm and welcoming. But what is black down there are the razor bills.
Och, the razor what?
The razor bills. They are the scourge of the entire coastline of the Black Gulf. Although, that said, there is one place they don't get so many. The old white cliffs of Gamrud. Those that stand over the port of Barakvar.
Oh, yeah, and why is that, Master Tavern Keeper?
Ah, well, it's because the dwarves there make great sport of shooting the blighters out of the sky at each and every opportunity.
Oh, yeah, now that is most sensible. Oh, well, now that's all fine and good, but what in Tepok's name are these here razor bills? Are they bugs? Are they birds? Are they flying fish?
Ah, well, the razorbill is a very large seabird, and I am talking quite big indeed. Think between just shy of 3 feet from beak to tail feathers. But, well, what is even more impressive is its wingspan, which is at least 3 times its height.
Och, so between 8 and 10 foot then. Now that's quite a lot of feather, talon and beak.
Ah, yes. Basically, they are very big and very dangerous. However, they would not be such a problem but for one more terrifying fact. What has really caused them to be so emblematic of the Black Gulf and the Black Peninsula is that they congregate in their thousands in the many, many caves of the silvery cliffs that line the Black Gulf and the Lagoon of Tears. Another mark against them is that each of these birds is also an omnivore, by which I mean they'll eat absolutely anything and everything, be it red, be it dead, be it green or unclean. And they've got the gear to do it. The bite of their sharp, hooked beaks is particularly nasty, but so too are their filthy talons.
Och, so are you telling us that they're man-eaters then?
Oh, well, not over easier prey at least. Being seabirds, they predominantly eat fish. And you can always tell where they live, because the rocks below the cliff tops they roost upon, as well as outside the caves they dwell within, are always strewn with fish bones and guano.
Oh, yeah, and so what is this guano, Master Tavern Keeper?
Ah, yes, Heinrich. I mean bird droppings. We call that guano here in Tobaro, borrowing the Estalian word for it. It's actually quite useful stuff. If you, for example, grind it up and mix it with your grain and seed as you sow your field, for some reason or other, your crops will grow stronger and healthier. I hear it is also used by the alchemists of Grand Cathay in the production of black powder and other explosive items.
Och, I'm not just in your cafe there. I've got barrels of the stuff. It is indeed very useful. Oh, yeah, I see. Actually, my comrade in arms, the wizard, Magnus, was only just saying that he has been very impressed by your concoctions, Master Alchemist. Oh, I am glad. He's one of my best customers. And, of course, I'm more than happy to do my little bit to help fight the rats.
Ah, every little helps. But anyway, I would advise against you trying to go and get any razorbill guano yourselves. Anything smaller than a horse that comes within 100 yards of where the birds roost will be quickly set upon by at least 2, if not 6, dozen of the rotters.
Och, by Tepok's tail feathers, that's gonna sting.
I'd say. Death by 1,000 lacerations, and then torn apart and gobbled up. Not an end I'd wish upon my worst enemy. Unless, of course, they're a Skaven. Or a Dark Elf. Sorry, Heinrich. Terralion obviously not being included in that list.
Oh, yeah. Give it no more thought, Master Tavern Keeper. It is clear that race has left their mark upon you.
Aye, in both flesh and spirit. A tale for another occasion. As I was saying, the Lagoon of Tears has such a name because it is literally infested by razorbills. Thousands upon thousands of them have scratched out great colonies in the soft rock of the cliffs there.
Och, that sorted it. I'm not going sightseeing there.
Well, then also be wary when you visit some other parts of the old world. Flocks can be found elsewhere in the Tilean Sea, for one. And Sedrik, when you first arrived in Astalia, you were lucky you landed in the south, for the western cliffs of the coast of Astalia are also home to colonies of razorbills.
Oh, yeah, and in the cliffs overlooking the Sea of Claws, there are also some. But nothing like in the numbers you are just describing, Master Tavern Keeper.
Yes. I recall seeing a few when I was a whaler up that way. But, as you said, not in the numbers you see here in the Black Gulf and the Tilean Sea. And speaking of Tilea, well, the eastern side of the country anyway, there's actually a market, not just for razorbills, but razorbill blood as well. At least in some of the more cutthroat city-states.
Och, so blood? And what are they using that for then? This is not more vampire stuff again, is it?
No. At least not as far as I'm aware. No, it is rather that the Tileans in the east, perhaps rightly so, view the razorbill as an accursed harbinger of ill omen. So much so, in point of fact, that the bird has become a symbol of hate and revenge. And a common practice of the households of the more nefarious merchant princes is to use razorbill blood as a way of declaring a vendetta, a blood feud between 2 rival households.
Och, so what are they doing with this blood then?
Well, normally they'll just splash it over the doorstep of their preferred enemy, although some have gone as far as dumping a whole body there instead. Heck, I even heard about how one merchant prince woke up in his bed, covered in blood, surrounded by the dead bodies of 3 razorbills. Although, thinking back on it, I can't recall if that was as a result of a vendetta or simply something he was into. Anyway, all this palaver means that there is a secret market in the selling and butchering of living razorbills. And I hear that the money is rather good. They're quite hard to catch, you see.
Oh, yeah, but could you not simply just use any kind of blood? Who would know the difference?
You are quite right. Few could tell. And I hear that that does take place. But it is not just the merchant princes who are after razorbill blood. It is also used by necromancers here in the south for certain magical rituals. Rituals that will go devastatingly awry if the wrong kind of blood is used. I do not think I need to stress that it is a bad thing to get on the wrong side of a necromancer.
Oh, yeah. Please, do not remind me, Master Tavern Keeper.